Hi Luke, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you, mate. All good. So, Brighton tomorrow night, big night up against Johnny Clayton. You've won your last couple of meetings against him in Dublin and on the Euro Tour in Visa. So, how much encouragement can you take from that into tomorrow?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a game that's probably one I really have to win. It's probably getting to that point of sort of no return now where you can't really be losing in first round games. I think you can't leave it too soon, too late. I don't really have to win nights. I just have to keep winning that first game and try and maybe win one night at least. That seems to be the way that it's going for me this year. So, got to try and creep myself in there, to be honest. So, yeah, big game for myself, and we'll see how it goes.
We're 9 weeks into the competition now. You're still averaging over 100 for the tournament, and it feels like your performances haven't really reflected in the results. But do you feel it's just a matter of time until that changes?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm probably averaging more than I did in 2024 and 2025 as a whole. So, you can't really sit here and go, or anybody can say you're not playing good enough because I'm probably playing better, but maybe my timing's not been as good. I've had some really good performances against me, to be fair. Gezzy's had two really good ones against me, Bunting in Belfast. The Michael Van Gogh one was a tough one because it was, hard with the wind coming across for us both. So, yeah, the last 4 weeks have been tough, but that starts that sport, and you just have to get on with it and try harder.
And you got your first ever nightly win in the Premier League in Brighton a couple of years ago. You hit your first TV9 data here last year. So it's been a venue that's hopefully had plenty of good memories for you.
Yeah, it has. It's held some really good memories for myself, and it's just something that maybe I need to look back on and try and gain some inspiration from. Hopefully tomorrow night is a good night for myself. Winning that first game is really crucial, but going on and winning the night would be very, very crucial because it would put me in that top four, and then you can sort of look down at everyone else and try and get yourself into to stay in there. That's what I need. So yeah, one good night is really what will change it around for me, and who knows, maybe it's tomorrow night.
Perfect. Best of luck tomorrow, Luke. Thanks,
Thank
mate.
you very much. You mind just doing that? I mind.
Luke, you talk about you are playing well and the numbers back that up. Does that make it an even more frustrating Premier League campaign so far because the performances haven't been converted to
I
wins?
think it's the other one, Josh. It's the other one, that left one, the left one. Sorry, it's just the sun's in my eye.
That's all right, mate.
Sorry, say it again. What did you?
You
About being-
touched on it there. You're playing really well. The numbers back that up. But does that make it a frustrating campaign for you because you haven't converted those performances into wins and points?
Yeah, to be honest, not really. I think you see me frustrated on the dartboard a lot because that's just me as a person. I always strive for more. But as a whole, I'm not really frustrated. It kind of is what it is, isn't it? It's the cauldron of sport. It doesn't always go your way. There's been many instances from other players that have played really good and not qualified for the top four as well. So it's just something that you have to keep working on, keep getting better at, and all I'm going to do is keep trying my best. And if it's good enough, it's good enough. If it's not, it's not. I think a lot, like I said, a lot of players have had some good performances against me at the right time, and that's kudos to them. It's up to me to find something even better than I have produced before to force myself into that top four now.
I remember speaking to you in Saudi and we were talking about the change in equipment, and you were like, right, I've proved to myself I can win with this, but we've seen you tinker again and go back to the old flights. Is it a mental thing while you're doing that?
Uh, Not particular. I feel like the other flights were really good at scoring, but they just weren't clinical on the doubles, and it's just because they're a tiny bit heavier. And it's so much easier when you've got so much more of a margin for error. When you've thrown at triple 20, your margin for error is massive because you can miss by 2 inches and then two good darts and it's in. But the doubles it's a lot harder, it's more delicate, and they didn't seem to find the doubles enough for me, to be honest. I think that was one of my strong points over the last couple of years. So I just went back to the old one, and I'll probably rejoin them again another time just to try them again. But yeah, it's just a little bit of a chop and change here to see which one works best for me and wins me more.
You said to Josh that you feel it's must win this week. Worst case scenario, if you don't win, how do you then approach it? Obviously, relying on other people then to do you a favour.
Well, to be honest, yeah, I say must win. It's not on the terms of if I don't win it, I'm out because 7 weeks after, 6 weeks after this week, so it's two nightly wins and you could even be third then. So for me, it's not a must-win game, but I feel like if I want to start making an impact and want to start, pushing towards that top four, and a win tomorrow night against Johnny definitely is going to be needed because I would put myself even closer to Johnny then. And I could drag him into the mix as well. I think a lot of people probably thinks there's just one space available for that top four now between the likes of me, Michael, and Jan. But yeah, if you keep winning games and put the pressure on John as well, he might slip into it as well. So yeah, that's why I think it's a big game, because then if I lose, I feel like that's probably going to be too hard to catch Johnny then.
Cheers, Luke. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
Well, Luke, thank you very much for your time today.
Right.
Just we spoke to you a few weeks ago towards the start of the Premier League, and you spoke about how a key importance for it is the entertainment side. You obviously a couple of years ago, your highest TV average, which you mentioned earlier at the time, and then your nine data last year. Now that you're at that kind of point of no return, is your mindset kind of shifting a bit in the way you're viewing the Premier League?
To be honest, I'm pretty relaxed about it all. I think, probably most people probably think, oh, you're probably feeling the pressure too much or trying too hard, but I'm actually not. It's just one of them things, isn't it? I'm so accepting of the fact that this is top level sport. It's what happens. You can't every time I lose a game or have a couple of bad weeks be like, oh, your performances are not good enough, this, that, because, I've pretty much at a level average wise where I'd probably want to be at. I always say to myself, over a whole Premier League campaign, you want to average over 100 and you've had a good campaign. And I'm there now. So it's just about converting them at good averages. I mean, not everything's about averages, of course, because if you're getting good averages, not winning, it doesn't really mean nothing, does it? But I just know that my performance levels are there. It's just the clinicalness. For me, I have to try and force my way into that top four now by playing even better. And funny thing is, usually you start playing a little bit worse and then you win. So it's weird, but whatever it takes to win is what it really matters.
Yeah, and another thing you mentioned was obviously missing Nathan Aspinall in the Premier League. He spoke himself about how he's not really been enjoying his darts as much, and then he went on and won a title. And what are your thoughts on his mindset of kind of saying he was missing something in his darts life at the moment?
Yeah, I experienced that last year, didn't I? To be fair, I come out and said about how that I was kind of a bit mentally fatigued and tired, and Nathan's is another way where he feels like he's missing something, which is probably not playing in the Premier League. He's used to having a routine, playing in the Premier League on a Thursday, and then Euro Tours Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and he's at home, more often than he's not. And it's different for him, so he probably doesn't have that drive to want to go and practice as much, because you don't really need to practice when you're in the Premier League and stuff. You're playing all the time, so you don't tend to practice. Whereas if you're not in the Premier League, you can fall shy of like not practicing or putting the effort in. But Nathan's a fantastic player. He's one of the grittiest and most determined players on tour, and I don't think that something will stick with him for a long time. Obviously, that win, I spoke to him, we chatted on the phone yesterday, and he was buzzing about winning. And he'll probably give him that buzz back now. He's probably there, right? I've won a title, now I want to kick on and do better. So, yeah, that sometimes is what you need, just a win that can really reignite the fire in you.
Yeah, and another one as well is Ryan Searle. He sort of said since that World semi-final, he was kind of questioning whether this was all for him, and he wasn't so up for practicing. Have you had any more games, experts games with him recently, or has he said anything else
We
about
always
that
play.
today?
We play every week. Yeah, I don't see any difference, to be honest. I don't like think when we're playing Call of Duty, if we get all day at home. You can practice and play Call of Duty. It's up to you whether you want to do that practicing. I mean, we're not on it 12 hours a day. You're literally half eight at night till maybe 10, half 10, 11 sort of time. So it's like the whole of the start of the day from when you wake up to that point is your free time to go and practice if you want to. That's up to him. I don't stop him practicing. We just play a bit of Call of Duty at night time to have a bit of fun. That's just what we do. We have a good bit of fun, and yeah, I enjoy it. It's like you feel like you're in a different world. You're not thinking about all the things about darts, what you can do. You're just in this crazy world of playing Call of Duty, which is why I enjoy it.
Thank you very much, and best of luck tomorrow.
No problem. Thank you.
Hi, Luke. Thanks for your time as usual.
No problem.
If you can force yourself into the top four, the league and the FA Cup double is still on after Sunday's game. So, would that be a nice dream?
Yeah, of course. Obviously that is something, taking football away from it, from my own perspective, to make that top four is obviously something that I really want to do. And I don't want to, not defend my crown at the O2. I don't really want to have to have lost it before not being there. So yeah, I mean, for us both to do it, obviously it'd be a dream, wouldn't it?
Would you go to Wembley? Are you going to go to the semi-final?
Yeah, I'm going to go. So hopefully I can sort out some tickets. They're obviously harder to get than the ones that are just at Leeds. So yeah, I think I might be all right for it, and be a good experience to see my football team in a major semi-final of a big cup.
I happened to see Emma Louise Jones today from Leeds United TV.
Oh
She
yeah,
was raving about the day you took the trophy around Ellen Road, and she spoke to you
yeah.
at Cheltenham and said can we have a repeat, please? And you both agreed on that, so it's on the radar.
Yeah, do you know what? That was one of the most magical days of my life, to be fair. Obviously, my son being born was number one, winning the World Championships number two, but that was really up there. It's such a great experience. And, I always dreamed of being a dart player, but always wanted to, play a football game at Ellen Road because I just would have loved to have done it. And the next best thing would have ever been just parading the trophy around, and it was something I got to do, and the respect and admiration from all the fans from, me winning that World Championships was just amazing. It's something that, like I told them, I'd love to do again. I'd love to be able to take that trophy around again and experience it once more because it's a feeling that really does live with you.
Good stuff. Listen, good luck tomorrow, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, mate.
Hi, Luke. Thank you for your time again. Are we perhaps overdoing your form in the Premier League? Because it is points-wise your worst Premier League so far, yet 9 weeks in and 2 points off the top four. It's not the worst position to be in, is it?
Yeah, to be fair, I think a lot of people have expected or seen me over the last 2 years being that top two pretty much the whole of the Premier League campaign. The first year I played in it was a slow start and then obviously an explosive middle where I won them three and then straight up the top for a lot of it and then, down to second and then ended at second for about 6 weeks. And then obviously last year, bang straight at the top and then sort of got pegged back and stayed number two for quite a long time. So people are used to seeing me in that 1 and 2 spot with Luke and now I'm not. Everybody's like, whoa, you're sixth. Yeah. So you're kind of right. It's not really in a position that I'll be panicking because you're 2 points away. That's just one win. So yeah, I'm not panicking. Considering that I've really not won a night or really not made many finals, to still be within 2 points just shows that if it does happen for me all of a sudden, then I've got a good chance to really push myself up there.
How would you assess your season up to press? I mean, we know what's happening in the Premier League, but away from that, you've still won 2 titles, one on the floor, one on the European Tour. You've still made a major final. Is it been a successful year for you, or would you have expected more at this point?
No, to be honest with you, what you just said, I would have said that was probably about fair. 4 months into the year, you want to win a Euro Tour Players Championship and, make a major final, hopefully win it, which I did come close. So to me, I feel like the start of the year has been, good. And my average in as a whole, it's been at a level that I want it to be at, So just for me, I think the only thing that's not been as good this year, maybe in the last couple of years, is my timing. Big finishes, big scores at the right time. I've, doubling. That is probably the only thing I can look back on and go, that's what's missing. But then I think to myself, if that had been good, the average would have been even higher than, what we've ever seen before from myself. So, I'm not worried about it. I'm not panicking about it. The Premier League is hard and sometimes it goes your way. The last 2 years it's been amazing, but sometimes it don't. And, if I can still find them likely wins a lot more often than I have done, the last couple of weeks, I still got a good chance. So yeah, I'm not panicking yet, but what will be will be.
Would it almost feel like a greater achievement to struggle throughout the league campaign and then go on to lift it once again at the end of the O2?
Exactly, yeah, because I always find that a lot of attention gets paid to the league table, which rightly so. But really, what all that matters is you make that top four. I mean, I'm a big advocate for it all the time. Just top four is all that really matters because you can be first, second, third, or fourth. It doesn't matter what position you're in. You still got a chance to win the trophy. And I feel like if I can just scrape myself in there, I'll be playing probably with a little bit more freedom to think I probably shouldn't be here, but I am, and it might help me go on and retain the trophy.
Cheers, Luke. Good luck tomorrow. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, mate.
Hi, Luke. You speak about obviously you feel like you've been playing well this season, and you have been. Obviously, your league position, as we've mentioned, doesn't necessarily reflect that. But you've come through harder times in the past, as we all know. But what is the hardest part, perhaps, of darts that maybe people don't understand, in your opinion?
Probably just the consistent level that you have to produce to be at the top level. Yeah, it's very hard. Sometimes there's weeks where you feel a little bit different, a bit tired, maybe, I don't know, and your performances then ain't quite up to scratch. And there's other times where you feel really good and everything feels amazing and you perform really good. It's up and down. It's not always on ups. I've been a player over the last sort of 4 to 5 years that have experienced many great highs and many great lows. There's just the sport that we play, and I'm not at that or never have really been at that level where I'm hitting 110 average all the time, but I am very much capable of doing it much more often than most players. So for me, it's just something that you kind of just have to keep pushing on and keep working on and, just trying to get yourself better. I'm always trying hard to get myself to a level that, even surprises myself.
Last one or two questions, please, guys.
Yeah, and you sound like you're very accepting as well of the situation. Obviously, you're very happy with how you're playing at the moment. So, what powers you through that personally?
Yeah, I think it's more to do. I'm just happy with my life. I kind of not. When I was winning a lot, I was kind of putting myself under pressure all the time, thinking I need this to keep going on because you want to keep riding the wave. And for the last sort of 9 months, I've not been winning many like major tournaments as I usually have been. So you kind of come accepting to the fact of, okay, well, maybe you're not going to be winning them as much as you have, but you still want to be winning them. So I'm quite accepting of the fact of, like I just said to the other guys, this is a high level sport and it's not always going to go your way. It really isn't. And there's many times it don't go my way, and there's many times it does go my way. And as much as I've not played too bad, lots gone against me. So you kind of don't want to hope for people to play bad against you, but you need sometimes people to be a little bit off, and you be able to capitalize on that, which hasn't really been far and far between this season.
You're down in Brighton tomorrow. As a Brighton boy myself, it's the smallest, most intimate venue. What do you prefer, intimate venues or the bigger ones?
Yeah, but I don't really have a preference because I like them both. I like having that sort of intimate crowd that's really, impactful to you, and you hear everything and it's all great and the atmosphere is great. Also, like the big, massive venues where, you walk out and you think, wow, this is incredible that you're performing in front of, 12, 15,000 people. It still gets you. So it's definitely something that I like on both terms. I like playing in front of big crowds, but also like the small, intimate ones because they feel, just as special.
Thank you, Luke. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Oh, hi, Luke.
Hey, Luke. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, mate. Just wanted your perspective on the spat last week between Jan and Luke Littler. From a player's perspective, were you taken by surprise by it, or is it come with the territory, given the high pressure situations you guys find yourselves in?
Yeah, it's what you said. It comes with the territory. We've seen it many times over many years of players that have done it here and there. And sometimes you do things and you probably think, oh God, I wish I wouldn't have done that now. But you're in it, and it's hot news right now, isn't it? But yeah, in 2 weeks it'll all be forgotten. No one will remember it, and we'll all move on. That's my take on it.
Do you think a bit of needle is good for the game every now and then?
I don't think it's necessary for the game. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it sometimes if it's needed. But it's not something obviously that is, us players want to encourage and be like, yeah, this is great. We want this more often. It's just something. If it happens, it happens. It's not something that it's something that happens a lot with dart players. I think that's why when it does, everyone sort of jumps on it and it's a big story, and you get media outlets posting about 12, 15 times about it because they want people to comment on it. But yeah, it's just something that happens in sport, and that's it. And it'll be, like I said, forgotten in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. Cheers.
Oh, mate.